bringing down on Bola Tinubu's administration with the internal mechanisms and control. The truth of the matter is that I find it a bit difficult not to read the hand of Jacob and the voice of Esau or vice versa into this. But like Professor Akunlili did on national television, I'll repeat, I raise my hands and say, we have failed woefully in that direction. You made a statement, and it was like a comma or a footnote in a statement that, look, from what you see, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is like intent on re-election and all that. I share that view. Not to say that he's not wanting to try, but honestly, the optics are everybody decamping and all that kind of stuff. I think there needs to be an introspection. I think there needs to be looking back at what happened to Jonathan. I need to also understand the fact that, try as he may to rejig, the ultimate truth in this matter goes back to our foundation. Nigeria, unfortunately, is not working. Democracy is not working the way democracy should work. We do not have a consensus on how to elect our leaders, whether 2027 and beyond. We must therefore pull slightly apart. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a financial guru and an economist, will not lie to himself if he looks at himself in the mirror that an attempt to bring federalism in its wake into other areas of governance, viz. Tax reforms, local government autonomy reforms, and
even though there seems to be, it looks like there's no autonomy in the autonomy.
Police reforms that has one way or the other faced the stone wall. He was not going to lie to you to say that Nigeria is a complex in the VUCA world. You know VUCA, VUCA, complex coming from in and out. We must face these facts. We must get to the root of it. It does not matter whether it is Bola Tinubu that is there now. Please replace him with Kwankwaso or replace him with Shuwo. The fundamental problems and the inherent complexity of Nigeria is
protest. And I repeat, that led to the NSAS protest. But I'll come back to that. Akifatuke just want to touch that beast inside of me this morning. And I'm reading from the Punch newspaper this morning, and it says Nigeria is witnessing a resurgence of mass abduction as at least 145 people have been kidnapped in Kebbi, Niger State. Niger State in particular. You will recall that 2 former heads of state are from that state. And yet till today, even Niger State is not safe. Should I even say our soldiers that have, or ex-military head of state, have failed this country. Perhaps if it was the military era, maybe this in the last 4 days. The resurgence of mass kidnapping raises familiar political and security alarm. Akifatuke would analyze that as the country gears up towards 2027 polls. Now, in the run-up to the 2023 general election, abductions were rampant. Listen, in the run-up to the 2023 general election, abduction were rampant. That means there are some persons who do not put the interest of this country at heart. Now, according to reports by Punch, which showed that between January and March 2023 alone in the north, and I say again, and I repeat, I say again, all you northern leaders and elders, you have failed your people, big lives and property of the citizen. Make the country conducive for business to thrive. Ensure that there is an environment where foreign investors can come in. It's quite unfortunate. Now, Akifatuke, I said something earlier on. Now, is it looking like each time there is an election around the corner, this ugly incident raises its head? And quite unfortunate, successive governments, and I repeat, successive government, right from Jonathan's cocktail, this ought to have been nipped in the bud before it became this viral. Now, to you, must we play politics with human lives? Should Mr. President give an order to ending banditry, or do we need the service or services of the U.S. military to help us in all of this?
Thank you. So I bet within and without, I look at it from the Donald Trump's, statements lately. Maybe it's long overdue, except that the process and the procedure seems to be wrong. And again, it also seems as if enough rigor has not been made to look at the complexity in the VUCA of the Nigerian state. I agree, wherever US come to, sometimes life never seems to be like the same, but this is getting away one time too many. And I say it decisively. There are different ways to skin. You can skin a cat and use the wisdom of Solomon. The whole world will look at you as Stanley. In some other areas, please let me just put the security like that. In quite a number of other areas, we have seen within the Tinubu administration the courage that we have never seen. You may say you may say certain things happen, no, but the single-mindedness to try and correct, within a rough jacket. We talk about quite a number of other things. Now, when Bola Ahmed Tinubu was coming in, he knew, and he said he should not be pitied. He knew that amongst others, perhaps he had said to himself, out of 10, if I'm able to do 8, well, maybe I'll pray the remainder 2. Those who came before him were doing 1 over 10, 2 over 10, and perhaps during Obasanjo's time, 4 over 10, and what have you. Cannot unilaterally do it. You made a statement just now, and I'm going to be very careful, but I'm going to be very blunt. I studied in the North, so I spent the better part of my educational career, Federal Government College in Sokoto, and then Ahmadu Bello University. And I can tell you for free that as far back as about 30, 40 years ago, when the likes, I've said it so many times, of Lamido Sanusi, who is now an emir in Kano, sat together with me in FAS, Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, when we were studying economics. We knew the inherent dangers that religion has brought into fore. We knew, in fact, years before then, the Almajiri situation, which Jonathan tried to correct, and then some other presidents like Buhari now then came, and all the things that we need to get into. The only area that I see that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not been able to summon the same courage in that area will split Nigeria apart. Let me be very careful. There are forces in this country who are benefiting from the melodrama that we are talking about, including the military infiltrated, including the local chiefs. You said the intelligentsia in the north. They knew of so many, right from the Kwara belt up north. I've been saying this is a danger waiting to happen, but many people turned their gaze into other direction. Yes, collectively there has been a failure. The thing has now become an issue. Sometime around 1999, and thereafter we had the issue of Boko Haram coming in, because northern elites believe that is part of what they can bring in to win elections. Buhari came, we have to open our borders and say all manner of people can come in, and then we have not been able to sort that out. We collectively have not been able to do it, including President Bola Ahmed Tinubu within his first term. If President Bola Ahmed Tinubu survives the first term, this is my projection, and he gets re-elected, my feel, let the middle belt, let's all collectively now then come together and then avoid the disruption that Donald Trump wants to set in. You see, when a wall cracks, the lizard find a way in there. Okay. A word is enough for the wise.
Wow. Thank you so much, me. It's been. Now we'll leave the issue of insecurity and go to another important sector, another important area that I think needs to be thoroughly looked into. Now, you approach the police as bidder. If I am influential enough and I'm connected or whatever, it has always been that he who called the piper dictates the tune. And it's also quite unfortunate that some influential persons use our security apparatus or operatives, as it were, to inflict pain on fellow Nigerians. Now, this is what I. Next stage, you want to exempt Lagos, but you can't also exonerate Lagos State. But at least to a large extent, you get justice in Lagos. One of them is, I don't want to mention his name. What am I saying in essence? Mr. President yesterday charged all the judges to work against corruption. Now, the moment the judicial system becomes corrupt, which looks like it is right now, then there is no hope for the average Nigerian, the less privileged, who ordinarily, even without being influential, being wealthy, or whatever. Now, I'll quickly read this out and I'll get Akifat, because we have so much to talk about, so we'll just run through some of these. They are topical issues, but then, time permitting us, we'll try as much as possible to guys and pick one or two things from them. Now, it says Mr. President, on Monday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Monday told judges that corruption within the judiciary poses a direct threat to Nigeria's stability. That's the first one. Warning that corruption in the judicial 2025 All Nigerian Judges Conference of the Superior Court held at the National Judicial Institute. According to the president, public trust, in the court remains essential. I'll take that again. Public trust in the court remains essential to the health of the country's democracy. He noted that while the judiciary has often been a stabilizing force, Mr. President, sir, okay, I'll kind of disagree with this one. Citizens have raised concerns about delays in it to be fair, impartial, and untainted. Akifatuke, the three words: untainted, impartial, and bitter truth. Would you say that in recent time, justice has been served? The common Nigerian out there have smiled home, saying yes, truly, we can bank on. Akifatuke, your thoughts in all of this?
My thoughts are very simple and very straightforward. While I will continually respect the judicial arm to do their part, and then of course you have the prosecution, then you have the police, the National Assembly itself, and the state governors, and Mr. President itself. It's difficult for me to come out and tell you that Mr. President is not right, or that the judiciary is smelling like rose. Before this time, but more especially this time, we've had, justice purchase here and there, that judicial commissions at different times have said should not happen, but it kept on happening. From where I come from, there is a saying, and I will say that in Yoruba it says, Amboku, Eruewo. And Amokun said, it is the load that you think that is still, you have not looked down. That is, somebody who is to keep on saying, hey man, the load you are carrying is tilted. He says, it's the load we are looking at. You are not looking below, at my index. The judiciary has become corrupted on account of we not doing the things that we need to do appropriately. At family level, at government level, at society level, and we heap the whole thing and take our garbage to the courts, expecting that the courts will now suddenly become straight. Integrity is very important, diametrically straight. Integrity is very important, diametrically divided. If the public feels that, well, it is my man not there, you will say justice has not been served. So it's a whole jambalaya of confusion in that respect. But if you compare to what we used to have at one particular time, where justice was not just impartial, where authorship was very respected and not just the party-going kind of people, where selection of judges was devoid of political and political interference, you knew that relatively you could still, maybe out of 10, you could still get 5 or 6 in a way that you call justiciable and fair. But in a situation where all of us are divided, that division has gone into our military. So people are taking sides. It's gone into our churches and mosques and shrines. People are clearly taking sides. It's gone into our traditional institutions. It's gone into our schools. It's gone into the whole fabric of our culture. Therefore, there are people that are still saying your mandate was stolen, rightly or wrongly, and all that. So we need to have all inclusiveness. It should be such that it is others before self, and it should be such that the true volume of the letters of law should be applied. Not when it is applied here, people escape abroad and then they are caught abroad, and for the same offense they are jailed out there. Nobody is going to try and take you seriously. My attitude to this criticism is that judiciary should look inwards. Means Madam Justice Kekere Okun, as the head of the judiciary, should not just this and they are pointing at us now. Let's introspect. It is not all criticisms that is against you. Let it be such that you can begin to walk the talk from internal, and then where you now then see you are not getting the kind of collaborations that you should get, please communicate it and let people. Thank you. And
I totally agree with you. The judiciary should be independent because we have 3 arms: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. All arms should function independently. And I repeat, all arms should function independently. Now, you ask yourself, like he said, the executive, that's where all of this formulation, and whatever comes in. The interpretation has always been the problem. Repeat, the interpretation has always been the problem. I have always said time and over again, when are we going to have a country where the son of or the daughter of nobody can walk into a police station, can approach a lawyer and say, I'm seeking justice, and he or she would get justice without being milked? And I repeat, without being milked. You go to different courts in Lagos, and a lawyer approached and said, just tell them, just plead that you are guilty. And I told the person, okay, why should I accept that I am guilty over an offense that I didn't commit? So you ask yourself, Do we even have credible lawyers in this country? Or we still, of course, there will always be charge and bail lawyers. No disrespect, there will always be charge and bail lawyers. So how do we select or pick out the good ones from the bad ones? The same way we have them in broadcasting. You have some funny journalists. You go to different events, you find some fake journalists. Yes, let me use that word. That's how we describe them. Some fake journalists loitering around, and at the end of the day, they make you, the real professional journalist and lawyer, look ordinary. Now, who do we trust? You cannot trust the Nigerian police. You can't even trust. If you go to a police station and they tell you do this, you must. And you would also blame them. It's a function of the decay that has eaten deep into the system. So much rot. I pray and I hope we'll come out of this. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, the conversation continues. Bumper breakfast continues in a bit. Don't go anywhere. You want to charge for me?
Nigeria hasn't always justified the faith of its people, but there comes a time when you are pushed to the wall and there's nowhere to go but up.
If we just decide in our hearts that we want to believe in Nigeria and we want to take steps every day to make this country a better place.
This is our dream, and a new Nigeria is that dream that we so much seek and desire.
The destiny of Nigeria is in our hands. We are the country. The country is us.
We are Nigeria.
We are that turning point generation. We are Nigeria. We are the future.
We are the dream. We are the nation. We are part of this. Yes, we are so amazing. That's the least we shall be. At the heart of the nation, changing history. How can they say that we are finished? We have just begun. When we have nowhere else to run to our dreams. We are the nation, we are part of it.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need am.
Mommy, I get the school fees. You too much.
Na money point oh.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as Sure Banker. Progress na small wind where they carry person go far.
No worry, yourself go make am. Go Bible.
Victor, confirm.
Money Point, made for your progress.
The only way to win this fight is for one of you to bring home a husband. Who do you think you are? Silver White.
Do you think that the path to greatness does not require think that the path to greatness does not require great sacrifices? The price has changed.
Welcome to Niger Steppers Showdown.
We're competing for the Niger Steppers Showdown.
Gbogbo tí Abọ́bakú bá fẹ́ ní gbogbo ìlú gbọ́dọ̀ bá fẹ́.
Abọ́bakú gba ilẹ̀ bàbá yín.
Èmi ẹkùn nìkan pẹ́rẹ́ nìkan dájẹ́ èmi ọ̀tá ní gbẹ̀rẹ̀ níjà. Èmi dẹ̀ ní ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ kejì òrìṣà.
Mgbe nsogbu adịrọ, oge elugo mgbe m ma gwa ndị a na m abụrụ egwu achọtaba n'aka were agba.
Sabon tauraron Arewa ya dawo. Mafi girma, mafi karfi, kuma mafi daukar hankali.
Driving makawan ATM ne for driving slow.
Zan wuce kushewa. Zango na biyu. Waka ce, sha'awa ce, tafiya.
All right, welcome back. I hope you've enjoyed what we've been able to serve you so far. But then the journey has not stopped. We're still marching on. I hope the judges would yield to the advice of Mr. President.